Introduction. Why Frame defines a man. There are many teachings inside the men's holy book, but one stands higher than almost all: Frame. Frame is the foundation. It is the invisible shield, the silent crown, the presence that separates men from boys, leaders from followers, kings from beggars. Without frame, a man is lost. He bends, he breaks, he changes with every wind of emotion and opinion. But with frame, a man is unshakable. He becomes the mountain, not the leaf. The storm may come, but he stands tall. The truth is simple: your frame decides the respect you receive in this world. And if you do not control it, the world will control it for you. What is frame? Frame is not arrogance. Frame is not an act. Frame is the deep, inner authority that says, "This is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is my code. And nothing, no woman, no friend, no enemy, will shake me from it." Frame is not about dominating others. It is about leading yourself so firmly that others feel your presence without you speaking a word. A man without frame looks for permission. A man with frame creates permission. A man without frame begs for approval. A man with frame earns respect. The men's holy book teaches, a man without principles has no frame. And a man without frame will be ruled by anyone who has one. The core principles of frame rests on four unshakable pillars: discipline over desire. You may want comfort, but your discipline keeps you moving. Desire changes, discipline endures. Courage over fear. Fear never disappears. But courage is the choice to act in spite of it. Purpose over comfort. Comfort makes men soft. Purpose makes men kings. Action over words. Words are cheap. Action is costly, and only action builds legacy. When you live by these four laws, your frame becomes unbreakable. Frame in relationships. One of the most important battles for frame is inside relationships. A man without frame bends to every demand, every mood swing, every storm of insecurity. At first, he thinks this makes him kind. He thinks this makes him loved. But over time, it only makes him weaker, less respected, less desired. A woman does not truly respect a man who collapses. She may enjoy control for a moment, but her deeper nature seeks a man who can stand tall when she pushes. Frame in love means this: you do not argue to win every fight. You do not explain yourself endlessly. You do not lose your mission to chase approval. Instead, you set the standard: this is who I am. This is my mission. If you walk beside me, respect it. If you cannot, then walk away. That is not cruelty. That is leadership. And women are not drawn to weakness, they are drawn to men who stand firm. Frame in work in society. Frame is not just for love. It is for every battlefield of life. At work, the man with no frame is the one begging for recognition, apologizing for every mistake, chasing approval like a child. He is forgotten quickly. But the man with frame speaks less, but with clarity. He does not beg for respect. He earns it with results. His presence is calm in chaos. Others trust him because they feel that he cannot be shaken. Among friends, frame makes the difference between being the entertainer and being the leader. The entertainer makes people laugh, but is forgotten. The leader sets the tone, and his absence is felt deeply. Frame is what makes a man magnetic, trustworthy, unforgettable. How frame is built. Frame is not inherited. It is not given. It is built, every day, through choices. Discipline. Wake up when you said you would. Train when you promised yourself you would. Keep your word, especially to yourself. A man who cannot keep his own word cannot hold frame. Boundaries. Learn the power of no. Without boundaries, you are a slave to every demand. Saying no is not rejection, it is self-respect. Purpose. A man without a mission has no frame. Decide where you are going. Without direction, you will always collapse under pressure. Silence. Do not explain yourself endlessly. The man with frame does not rush to prove. His silence carries more weight than another man's noise. Resilience. Life will push you. People will test you. Frame is proven not when everything is easy, but when you refuse to bend under fire. The enemy of frame. The greatest enemy of frame is neediness. When you need approval, you lose frame. When you need validation, you lose frame. When you need comfort, you lose frame. Frame demands that you know your worth, with or without applause. Frame demands that you stand tall, even when alone. The men's holy book says, the needy man gives away his crown for nothing. The framed man wears his crown in silence. Living by frame daily. Frame is not one choice. It is not one speech. It is the daily repetition of choices that build strength. When you keep your word, you build frame. When you stay calm under fire, you build frame. When you rise after failure, you prove frame. Frame is the crown of a man. Without it, you are forgettable. With it, you are unforgettable. Closing of part 1. So remember this, frame is not about controlling others. It is about controlling yourself. It is about building such a strong foundation that no one can shake you from it. A man without frame lives like a shadow, blown by the wind. But a man with frame shapes the wind itself. Hold your frame. Live by your code. Because when you do, the world has no choice but to respect you. Introduction to Part 2. Frame is not just a concept you learn, it is a discipline you live. In Part 1 we explored what frame is, the crown of a man, the invisible shield that protects his principles, and the force that earns him respect. But knowledge without practice is nothing. In this second part, we will go deeper. We will explore how to apply frame in everyday life, how to defend it when tested, and how to make frame the essence of your masculine presence. Frame in the battlefield of emotions. Life is war, and the battlefield is not always outside, it is inside. A man's emotions are his greatest test. Anger, jealousy, fear, and insecurity, these are storms that break men without frame. The unframed man reacts. He shouts when angry, he sulks when insecure, he collapses when afraid. He is controlled by emotions. The framed man responds with calm. He feels fear, but chooses courage. He feels anger, but holds discipline. He feels doubt, but acts with clarity. The men's holy book teaches, a man without frame is a slave to his emotions. A man with frame is the master of them. Frame is not the absence of emotion, it is mastery over emotion. Frame under pressure. Frame is not proven when things are easy. It is proven in the fire. When money runs low. When your relationship is shaken. When friends betray you. When life pushes you to the edge. The man without frame collapses. He blames others. He drowns in excuses. The man with frame stands tall. He may bleed, he may sweat, but he does not bow. Pressure is not your enemy, it is your test. Every storm is asking, will you hold frame, or will you collapse? The men's holy book reminds us, the crown of a man is not given in silence, but in the storm. Frame in relationships, advanced lessons. We said in part 1 that relationships are one of the greatest tests of frame. Now let us go deeper. A woman will test you. Not because she hates you, but because her nature demands strength. She pushes, she questions, she challenges, not to see you fail, but to see if you are strong enough to lead. The weak man becomes defensive, angry, or needy. He loses frame. The strong man smiles, stays calm, and holds his ground. Frame in love means, do not argue every point. Your silence speaks louder than 10 explanations. Do not chase approval. Lead with your mission first, and respect will follow. Do not lose yourself. Love without losing your code. The men's holy book says, she does not need your words, she needs your presence. If your frame is unshakable, her heart will follow. Frame and leadership. Leadership is impossible without frame. The world does not follow titles, it follows presence. A man with no frame may have power for a moment, but people will not trust him. A man with frame may have nothing at first, but people gather around him because they feel safety in his strength. Frame in leadership means, you do not panic in crisis. You decide with clarity, not emotion. You hold vision when others only see chaos. Frame is the anchor. And an anchor is most valuable when the storm is strongest. How to strengthen frame daily. Frame is like a muscle. If you do not train it, it weakens. If you train it, it becomes unstoppable. Here are daily practices to build frame. Morning discipline. Start the day by keeping one promise to yourself. Rise early, train, read, or write. Begin with order. Controlled breath. When emotion surges, breathe deep, slow, and controlled. Frame begins in the body. Deliberate silence. Practice silence in conversations. Let others fill the air while you conserve power. Purpose reminder. Write down your mission daily. A man with no purpose has no frame. Test yourself, seek discomfort. Cold showers, difficult tasks, hard choices. Each test sharpens frame. Every day, frame can be built, or lost. Build it. The enemies that attack frame. If you want to live by frame, you must recognize its enemies. Neediness, the desire to be liked, to be approved, to be praised. Neediness kills frame instantly. Lack of purpose, without mission, you are easily swayed by every distraction. Weak boundaries, saying yes to everything, accepting disrespect, tolerating nonsense. Frame collapses without no. Overreaction, losing temper, explaining too much, defending endlessly. Frame is calm, not chaos. Comfort addiction, comfort weakens men. Pain and challenge build frame. The men's holy book is clear, what you tolerate, you become. What you allow, you accept. What you accept, you live. Frame as legacy. Frame is not just for now. It is your legacy. Money fades. Beauty fades. Status fades. But the man who lived with frame is remembered. Why do people still remember leaders of old, warriors of history, philosophers of truth? Because they held frame against the storms of their time. Frame is not about being liked today, it is about being remembered tomorrow. Practical example stories. Imagine two men in the same storm. The first man panics. He runs from challenge, he blames others, he seeks comfort. His friends pity him, but never respect him. His woman loves him less each day. He loses frame. The second man faces the same storm. He breathes. He stays calm. He decides clearly, he moves with discipline. He is not unafraid, but he is courageous. His friends trust him, his woman respects him, his enemies fear him. He holds frame. The difference? Not money. Not looks. Not luck. Only frame. Final teachings. Frame is not learned once. It is practiced daily. The men's holy book teaches, without frame, you are forgotten. With frame, you are remembered. Frame is the crown of a man. Wear it or lose yourself. Frame is tested every day, in love, in work, in silence, in storms. Frame is not about controlling the world, it is about controlling yourself so powerfully that the world bends around you. Closing words. So remember this lesson, frame is not a word. Frame is not a theory. Frame is life. When you hold your frame, you live with strength, clarity, and honor. When you lose it, you live like a shadow. Stand tall. Hold your frame. Live by your code. Because when you do, the world has no choice but to respect you. And long after you are gone, your frame will echo in the memory of those who knew you. Follow for more.